Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom. I am a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for 5 kids with one on the way. And this is Levi. We're going to an auction, and there's a $1,500 guitar we're going to try to pick up and see what else we can get. So let's go. So here we are back from the auction, and I bought a guitar, 4 pairs of glasses, a clock, a camera, and a Bears helmet. So this is the Bears helmet. I spent $5 on it. Or did I spend $7? I didn't think he had me at 5. I don't think I spent 7. It doesn't matter. Not a great pickup. I thought $19.95 in the box when I was just looking up comps for the St. Louis Rams one. I thought they were selling for 20 bucks. Unsigned. This one looks like probably 10 or 12 plus shipping. So $7 was not a great buy. I paid, Levi got this camera. First item he ever bid at a live auction on. He got it for 5 bucks. Sure Shot Telemax. He paid 5 bucks, and we're gonna sell it. And I suspect that it's probably $40 or $50. It definitely has over 100% sell-through. In the package, there's a new in-package battery, so I'll run it through a little bit of tests and we'll list it. I suspect it'll bring at least $50. So he did well on that. The clock is a Seth Thomas school clock. I spent $12.50, thinking it was worth about $70. Looks like the comps are more like $50, and I got to make sure that it's able to be set because it looks like it might be missing the pin to set it, so that might be worthless. $9 a piece. I got horn rim, gold filled, and I'll put up a shot of one of these in the brim right here. I'll see if I can get it to show, but I definitely, yeah, on this one you can see it. In the bridge of the nose it says 1/10 12 karat gold filled. And I don't know what that GRC is. That might be gold roll, but it's gold filled. I don't know. These horn rim glasses do well for selling. That one's broken. I just noticed it as I moved the camera. These do well for selling. They do well for scrap metal. At 9 bucks a piece. This set is probably worth $40 to sell as just a cool vintage women's pair of glasses. This one's probably worth $40. I mean, these are very similar, but they are not the same. Vintage glasses. This one is a sleek line frame with a hook ear, which is indicative of a certain company you may have heard of, B&L, aka Bausch & Lomb, aka Ray-Ban. So those have a little bit of provenance as collector pieces, despite being just nice looking and gold. So these are probably $40, $50. And then these other ones are, these I might end up just doing scrap at 20, and these end up selling for like 30 a piece, and these I'll probably do 40 for. So I mean 60, 80, 120 worth of glasses for 9 bucks a pair. Oh yeah, and then there was this little guitar that I spent a little bit of money on. Let's take a look at that. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now this has initials like drilled into it, TR, and I think that certainly doesn't hurt. I think it makes it neat. A guitar like this is gonna have some history. It is dirty, but the original pick guard is all there. There may be a crack right there under the, but it's all there. It's super nice, beautiful guitar. I don't know what's going on because the strings should terminate in the bridge. And obviously somebody did a wraparound on it. So I don't know if that's because it was bellying, but it's nice and flat, man. Bellying is when this Like either this thing pulls away from the face of the guitar, this is called the bridge, or sometimes it'll stick to the face and then there'll be a bump here but this guitar sure looks flat, man. And the neck is nice and straight. And this is how guitarists look at guitars. The neck is nice and straight. It is pulling up a tiny bit back here, but I know a guy who's one of the best in the country at fixing guitars. So there's a little gap that I can get my fingernail in down here. And he owns a shop in Pekin, and literally, like, he's worked on a guitar for Eric Clapton. He's one of the best in the country at working on guitars. So the neck is straight, but it needs set back on. It's not bellying. I don't know why this bridge is the way that it is. I'm hoping it's just somebody liked that sound better. But this saddle, which is the white plastic on top of the bridge, is really worn in, and I doubt that it's where it ought to be. And then this is what's known as the action, the distance between the frets and the strings. It's called the action. The action is ungodly high. Like, this isn't playable. So I'm going to take it to Josh and have him reset the bridge and make sure that it's like road ready. And if it can hold the pressure, put some really light gauge strings on it, put some lemon oil on it, and just bring it back to life a little bit. Clean it up. These are the original keys, and they are very, very nice. I mean, they're cheap junk, but they're in nice condition, and brought completely back to life. This is a maybe $1,700 guitar, because Kalamazoo, Michigan is where Gibson Guitar Company started. And in 1938, they started making economy grade guitars out of their Kalamazoo shop. And they didn't make a lot of them, and they were made really relatively cheaply. And so not a lot of them survived. So this is a Gibson guitar, and it's pretty rare, even though it's not high end. I mean, it's approaching $2,000 in really, really fine condition. So it's a nice guitar no matter what it is. At $500, if I got to just hang it on a wall as a piece of history, that's okay with me. I love it. But I'm gonna see what Josh can do with it. But everybody at the auction was like, "Oh my gosh, why did you pay that much for that guitar?" And I was like, "Because that moron over there kept bidding. That's why I paid that much for that guitar." And he knew kind of what it was, but then of course he's got to come over and be like, "Oh, I don't know, I think you overpaid for that," even though he bid $480, or I wouldn't have bid $500. And then, "Oh, you better not sell it. You'll never see another one." It's not your business. Walk away from me. He just lost and still had to be in charge, still had to be the boss. I hate people like that. So I won and shut up about it. He lost and had to run his mouth about it. And then 6-8 people in the room came up and they're like, "What was that guitar? Why would you spend $500 on that dirty, crazy guitar?" And I told him it's a World War II era Gibson guitar that that just don't exist anymore. You don't see them. So it's probably worth $800-900 the way that it sits. Probably be worth $1,500 if I put $200 into it. And I'm excited to own it one way or the other, but I suspect that it'll help buy some Disney tickets or something, because I want to be able to keep it, but it's not practical. I'm not playing guitar enough to warrant owning a $2,000 guitar. But I won't take less. This is not the kind of thing where I'm like, quick flip, you know? It's going to be it's going to be with me until I find a buyer who knows as much and loves it as much as I do. But I'm going to have to buy a case, which is probably $150. I'm going to have to put $150 or $200 into having it restored. So at 5, now I'm going to be $750, $800. And if I get 14, then I didn't double my money. And so 5 was my top mark. And that guy ran me right up to it. And I didn't have another bid in me, but he crapped out too. So, yeah, so that's the exciting thing. I bought a Kalamazoo super rare guitar. Kalamazoo, if you ever see that, like most people aren't going to know what a Kalamazoo guitar is, or the age of it just by looking at it. And actually, these keys were not commonplace back then. The keys would often have been like a slot here, and then the keys come in from the side through into a hole that's there on late 20s, early 30s, even into the mid 30s guitars. This is probably war era, mid 40s. And it's beat. But shouldn't it be beat? I mean, you don't want a 40s guitar that looks like one you'd go buy right now. So I'm excited about it. It's a project. It's an investment. But I think it's a good one. Yeah. So that's what we did at the auction, was spent a lot of money. I was about to say too much money. Too much money for me to spend on a project guitar, just because of where I'm at in life. But not too much money to spend on this guitar, because ultimately it was a bargain at $500. Okay, so that's the sourcing that we did. I have another half of a video from the what solds that I recorded Tuesday. So let's get into that. So I picked up these wind screens at Goodwill for $5. I didn't know what they were. I did a little bit of research and found out that they're for a Volkswagen convertible car, and then you put them over the back seat and it helps stabilize the air. And then somebody asked, is this one for the Volkswagen or is this one for the EOS? And I didn't know, and I did a little bit more research and I found out mine's for the EOS. And one of them sold for $89.99 plus shipping. Paid $5. That's the kind of thing where I don't mind if it sits for a while to find the right buyer, but you can't have a lot of that, or it drags your store down. Let's go find a New York Yankees hat. I think I paid $10 for this when I was still willing to go into Southside Mission Mart. I went into the one in Morton, which I don't go to because I don't go that way. And they had 5 or 6 new vintage snapbacks. And I spent $40, I think, on all of them. And so this sold for $24. It probably took a year. And I had 155 hats that were more than 6 weeks old. And so I took all of those listings, end listing, 155 all at once on the bulk editor, and then sell similar, not relist item, sell similar, 155. And I've gotten a couple of hat sales, but my sales have been more consistent since I did that, because I believe I had a bunch of old listings that weren't selling. And so that refreshes my store. It gives me more new listings and less old listings. And so I think that has helped, because I don't have a bunch of old dead listings. And so I'm shaving the fat, as it were. But this sold old snapbacks, new with tag. I would pick this up for $10 every time. I like hats. You guys know I wear all kinds of different hats. I sell hats. I talk about how much I like hats. But hats are slow sellers generally, and slowing down, I think. So that hat I paid $10 for. I don't go in that thrift store anymore. They suck. Southside Mission thrift store in Peoria, Morton. I don't waste your time. I love the Mission. I love their outreach. I don't love their stores. I think they make it where it is. They're trying to, coming down off the soapbox. Sold some Transformers. I grabbed a big old box bag at Goodwill for 20 bucks of toys. These 3 Transformers were amongst them, and they sold for $11, free shipping. That has been the case. Like, none of this stuff was, hardly any of this stuff was worth selling individually, but I was able to make lots, like 25 lots of $10 free shipping and making $5 at a time, 25 times. Let's find this jersey. HE91. Oh, it's up there and I don't remember which one it is. This is a big boy jersey, 2XL and new with tag. Cubs. No player on the back. Any players that I find anymore are not playing for the team. So those are hard sales. And then I found 3 jerseys yesterday at Goodwill, but they all just felt super fake. And I don't know enough about them. I'm not going to sell them if I suspect they're fake. And I don't know enough about them to authenticate them. So like this is new with the tag and is not most of the fake ones are player jerseys that people are ordering from like Alibaba. But I see a lot of jerseys and they all seem fake to me for the most part. So I stay away from jerseys a lot. But this I thought was probably pretty sure it was authentic. Sold for $35 plus shipping. And I know I paid like $6 for that. And it sold real quick. Let's see. It was listed on December 6th. Geez, I guess it didn't sell super quick. Now, this shirt I never heard of the brand before, but it was a caped Western shirt. And I'll show you what caped means. I just got to go pull it. Silver spur made in India. It feels vintage. It's not pearl snap, but the buttons are metal. And then in the back, it essentially has a cape. So that is known as caped. A lot of Fisher shirts, like you'll find Columbia shirts that in here are net. And so those are caped Fisher shirts. This is caped as a Western shirt. Like that goes all the way up to the shoulder. And I don't know the purpose of it, but I know the keyword for it to sell it on eBay. I never heard of silver spur, but I felt like this was probably going to sell $14.99. I bet I paid almost $6 for it. So it wasn't a really good pickup, but got me an opportunity to tell you guys about. Sold for $13.49 plus shipping. So even if I paid $6 and it's going to cost me $6 to ship, I'll make some money, but it's not a great pickup. Little Homies sold on auction $43. And these are just these little tiny figures. There's 28 of these in here. And so they sold for more than $1 a piece in this bigger lot. And I pulled the good ones out, and one sold for $17. I have 2 more listed. They're all like Latino, Latina. Like this one is labeled Homies, but she's a different scale. She looks like Isabella from Encanto. And so they're all kind of Hispanic flavored, at least this pack. There are some like African American ones. There probably are some white people ones, but I think they're more aimed at minorities as toys. And they do really, really, really well. So this is like an old Kraft cheese box, and these sold for $43, free shipping on 10-day auction. I think I started them at $1, and just knew that they would go. So if you see those Little Homies, and one of my friends texted me and said, hey, look what I found. She found one Little Homie, which ended up being worth like $3, but it's fun to find them. Anyway, sold these skates. I'm going to go dig them up, but you don't necessarily need to see them up close. $30 plus shipping. I paid $2.50 a piece at Goodwill for 10 pairs of skates. I think this is the 4th or 5th one that has sold, so I'm well into the profit a long time ago on roller skates. These were rentals, and I wouldn't necessarily buy every roller skate that comes up, but the rental skates, they pay a lot of money for those skates because they need to get a lot out of them. And so these were high quality skates in reasonable condition. And so if you were to buy the rental quality skates at retail, they're like $140. So I knew at $30 they would sell. It's taken some time, and I think as weather warms up, they will continue to sell and do better. So $30 plus shipping on some roller skates. It is my experience that almost anything to do with toy aeronautics, toy aircraft, rockets is worth picking up, or at least worth looking into. This sold for $17.99 free shipping. I paid 50 cents for it because it's a paperback book from Goodwill, and I think it's a 1974 edition, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's what I put in the title anyway. So anything, if you find the old motors, if you find the body of the plane, comp them. They're worth looking into. At very least they're worth looking up almost every time. So these are Othello pieces. I bought an Othello board for $1 at a thrift store, and it had 60 pieces in it. It needs 64, so I made lots of 10, 6 of them obviously, and then listed them for $7.50 free shipping for 10. And so I got 6 of those lots, and while it'll cost me like $4 to ship them, I'm making $3.50 on my dollar investment 6 times. Yeah. So 3 times 6, I mean, I'll make $15 when it's all said and done. It's super crazy easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll just put them into a padded envelope. Caleb bought these movies there's 8 of them. He paid $1 a piece for them. It was my money, and I'm selling them. Caleb picked them out. So Caleb bought these for $8. They sold for $39, and they've been listed less than a week. They listed on the 16th, and today is the 21st. So that was a quick flip from 8 to 40 for Caleb. These are the Love Came Softly series. Love Comes Softly. And so then they're all from the Love Comes Softly series. I find that a lot of these, I mean, if you look at these and don't think Hallmark Special, you don't know what a Hallmark Special is. And a lot of these Hallmark Special type DVDs in lots do well. And actually, I got another one that's like Cedar Cove over here. That's Andy McDowell TV series. And that one sold too. I'll just go grab that while we're talking about it. Well, here it is. The buyer hasn't paid yet, so it's not on my list. But I thought about it, so I grabbed it. Hopefully they pay. And then it'll be sitting here ready when they're ready. One more video game from my buddy that gave me games. Contra is fantastic. I offered my boys $10 for the first one who could get to level 3. And Judah finally, after 3 days, did get there. I have a real hard time getting very far in this game, and I've been playing it since it came out in '86, and I was 4. But this Contra is a good game, desirable title. Anything by Konami tends to be good, and Capcom tends to be good. But this sold for, in a hurry, overnight, $34 free shipping. You may recognize this Gold's Gym shirt because it sold, and the guy didn't like the way it fit, so he returned it. I do free returns on everything. Again, it's probably not the best way to make the most money, but it helps the algorithm. So I offer free returns. I had 4 returns last year. So if it helps at all, the amount of money that it costs me to pay the shipping return on 4 items, it's probably paying for itself. There's a misnomer that people will, oh, it's free returns, I'm just going to send it back, and buyer's remorse and every other customer is going to be a free return. That's not reality. As a guy who's run free returns for 2 years on every item, and I sell 10 a day, I had 4 returns last year. I just looked it up the other day. In the last 12 months, I've had 4 returns. So the idea that people are buying things to try them on or to borrow them, going to borrow your DVDs and watch them and then return them. There are lots of people who say those things. I can tell you for me, that is not true. It probably does happen some, but it doesn't happen much. So this guy got this shirt. It didn't fit. He sent it back. I relisted it. It sold twice for $20 plus shipping. And I think the first time I listed it, it sold. I think the first time I listed it was like 3 months ago. So that's shirt, vintage Gold's Gym stuff. This is only vintage because it has a hang tag. I don't think that it's made in the US. It might be. Yeah, made in the USA. So this is a good one. Vintage Gold's Gym, just a generic Gold's Gym shirt, but vintage Gold's Gym sells well. Crikey! This hat I got for 75 cents. In a huge lot of hats I paid 75 cents a piece for. I'm not familiar with Paramount Outdoors, but these wide brim kind of Fisher bucket hats can do as well as snapbacks. I mean, in sell-through rate. They probably, unless it's a really good name brand one that's not going to sell as high, generally speaking. But this was $9 plus shipping. CDs, a lot of 12, and I only have 11 in my hand. I've got to figure out which one is the one that's missing. This is a really good lot, and I guess it's still available. Green Day, Bush, Offspring, In Utero, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix, which kind of doesn't fit in this lot, but I mean, doesn't it? Alice in Chains, Nine Inch Nails, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, and another Alice in Chains. That is like, this was my high school music. I graduated high school in 2000. This was stuff that came out when I was in 6th or 7th grade, and people still listen to this music because it's fantastic. And so I listened to it all the way through till now. But I don't really listen to a lot of CDs. I now have a CD player sitting right here because I didn't get rid of it when I bought it to sell, but it's got Dave Matthews Band in it. I love Dave Matthews Band. But I gotta go put these back and get the right one. Okay, so I was wrong. The two Alice in Chains are in this lot. Alice in Chains, Butthole Surfers, Everclear, Better Than Ezra, Everclear, No Doubt, Soundgarden, Counting Crows, and two Bare Naked Ladies. Those, like if you buy CDs for 50 cents a piece, these sold for $25 plus free shipping. $25 free shipping. So, I mean, at 50 cents a piece, I'm not making a ton of money, but they sell reasonably quickly. They're super fun. So I don't mind picking them up at a yard sale for 50 cents a piece and making a bunch of money. These are right here. 3 painter's hats. Painter's hats don't do super well for the most part, but these are old 87 rally for the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals. This one is not dated, but it's a painter's cap for the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's dirty. And this one is an old painter's cap. They came in a lot. Either one that I bought on Whatnot that had a whole bunch of stuff in it, or the McDonald's manager that I bought 100 hats off of at his yard sale for $1 a piece. These sold for, either way, I'm in these hats for about $1 a piece. They sold for $13 plus shipping. So I'm not making a ton of money on these, but I got them in huge lots of things that I was buying, huge bulk. And so I made my money back a long time ago on whatever I spent on them. Caterpillar. We picked this up at Goodwill for $2.50, sold for $12 plus shipping. I think the selling point on this is that the snap says made in the US. People really like that. Obviously, Caterpillar is a popular brand for like streetwear, the same as Carhartt. This is a nice camo hat. Also, guys who work at Caterpillar. So this has a lot of appeal at $12 plus shipping. Sold in days, not weeks. Picked this jacket up, and I'm going to go get it in a second. I paid $12 a piece for 2 jackets. This one sold on offer for $33 free shipping. UPS Dale Jarrett. And I bet I could get this to go in a legal flat rate for $7.90. And the buyer's all in at 35 bucks. So 12 and 7, basically $20 in for 33. So I made about almost doubled my money, not counting the fees. So a little under doubled my money on that. I took an offer because I got an offer and it's getting warm. So I don't want this to sit around forever, all summer, and nobody's buying these in the summer. Hit or miss for sure at best. And so rather take a $33 offer and make $12 than let it sit for $40, and in the summer then I make up the other $7, or when it starts to get cold again, then I make up the other $7. But it's been dragging my store down as an old listing all year. Another Cubs hat I got from McDonald's manager. This one I picked up in haste because it's a cool looking Chicago Cubs hat. Nice snapback, stadium giveaway with the Chicago Tribune. And I oxy cleaned it when I got it home. It still is kind of gross. I don't know how well that's coming up, but it's a little bit like water stained. And I made sure it showed up in the listing. I listed it for like $7 and somebody sent me a $5 offer, and it's been listed for 3 or 4 months. And so I was like, yep, I'll take a $5 offer and get that bad boy moved plus shipping. So buyer's all in at 10 bucks. It'll cost me $4 to ship. And we're moving on with life. I picked up these pants, I picked up a bunch of Ralph Lauren pants at the auction the other day for $5 a piece. They were all size 12 ladies pants, new with tag. So these sold for $24, free shipping. Paid $5, cost me $7.60 to ship them. So I'm in 12 bucks. I make 10. And I got 6 pairs of them at the auction. This one I thought for sure would sell quick. Let me go find it. This is copper pipe, soft copper pipe, tube even. I paid $3 for it at Goodwill, and I thought it would be one of those things that just snaps up like printer ink or something, where it just sells immediately because it has a value, and I priced it under the price of retail. But it didn't sell, and it's probably been listed for 6 or 8 weeks, and somebody sent me an offer for $10 plus shipping. Buyer's all in at 21. This won't go in a flat rate envelope, so it's probably going to be kind of expensive to ship. But I thought copper has a, scrap value by weight, and so I thought this would go high. It did not. It sold for 10 bucks, and it's gone. This hat sold for a little piece of nothing. I literally think I got this for free from a buddy like 2 years ago. His grandpa passed and left a whole bunch of hats, and they were liquidating the estate, and nobody wanted the hats, and he knew I would. So $7 plus shipping. And Metallica CDs, again, 50 cents a piece at a yard sale. I picked up most of them, and these sold for $14 free shipping. Alrighty. Shirt sold for $6. It's just a vintage 90s Fruit of the Loom blank, men's size large, $6 plus shipping. This we already did that hat. This hat, $10 plus shipping, Mercedes-Benz. I paid $250 for it the other day. Levi listed it. Guy sent me an offer for $10. I figured, let's get it moved quick. That's making money. Merrell shoes. Merrell used to be hot. These are not a great style. Merrell is mostly a hiking brand thing. I didn't pay much for these, but I didn't make much on them either. I picked them up for $6.99. They sold for $16.99 plus shipping. So I wouldn't buy these again. And I knew they were a mistake once I comped them, once I got them home. But I did end up finding the right style and getting them listed with good keywords. But I listed them for $16.99 because they're not worth a lot. Merrell hiking boots can be good. That brand is not worth a lot. That's everything, guys. That's the whole kit and caboodle. I got to get it all put in boxes now. You guys, I've just been making piles. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me gab. Thanks for commenting and subscribing and watching to the end if you got this far. We will see you guys on the next one.